Hello, this is Michael for VR Game Truck Nebraska. This video is for you game truck operators out there. This video is about using the internet to make money. I've already made a video on how to do large events, to how you can organize those and make money. I've made a video on educational VR, how you can maybe add that to your program and make money. This video is on how to add the internet to your program and make some more money. Now, I only use the internet for birthday parties. It's kind of something special I have offered if you get a birthday party, so it's something completely different from what a kid might experience if they go to any public event or anything else I do. So it's kind of a unique thing, and I do it as what's called as a guided birthday party, which I will get into more. But to divide all this information so we can understand it easily, I'm going to try to divide this video into three sections. We're going to talk about the equipment you need to be able to do this internet upgrade, and we're going to talk about organization, because you got to know where to put people. How are we going to organize? Where are we going to put people with the different type of trailers we have? Okay, and the third thing is what kind of games can I put on, and I'll give you some examples. My thing is constantly changing and evolving, and I'll tell you what's worked for me, and what I'm trying to get into is kind of my vision for the future, because I have a kind of way I like it to go and make it a little simpler for me. So, first of all, equipment. You got to decide how you're going to connect to the internet. It's the main obstacle, right? You got to know how you're going to use the internet in the field. Now, there are several options in this. You could get a jetpack if it works well in your area, and do everything wirelessly through a Verizon jetpack and connect whatever you want to connect through that. It works great. When it works great, I'd say. I have trouble because relying on that because I go a lot of places and sometimes I won't get a signal. So a way to get around that is Starlink. We have an operator in Canada that uses that. If you want to go completely wireless, that might be something you could look into. I haven't done it yet because I'm already set up to use Verizon and a hardwire system, and I'm just going to stick with that for a while because it's what I'm set up for, and it doesn't cost me much, and I like using people's home internet when I need to. So. And it helps me to update consoles. It's great because I can hook up to my own internet at the house to update my consoles. So, anyway, so there's those wireless options, Starlink, Verizon Jetpack. Now, if you want a hard wired solution and be able to hook up to the internet, you're going to need some equipment there. You'll need a switch. You wire all your consoles to that switch, and then out of that switch you're going to have a cord coming out. Now, the simplest way probably might be the most challenging part for people. The way I found that I like the most to do that, so cords don't break and that kind of stuff, is I have just a regular Ethernet cord that's going out of the switch, but that goes into an adapter that's outside my trailer. That's kind of it's called a boat adapter kind of thing. It's what they use on boats. And it has a place to plug that cord into. And then on the other side, it has a female port with this little cap that I can cap it when it's not being used. And I can plug a cord into. So, and then I recommend for the cords, for your mobile cords to plug in, because you're going to have to go plug into their router. There's these cords that have wind-ups. They're 50 feet, and you just turn the thing to wind them up. So the electrical cords sometimes have this system too, right? If you've seen those. So it's a great way. The biggest ones I've been able to find is 50. So I got 4 of those. That gets you 200 feet, and you can just connect them together. So, and it works great, and the cords don't break, and they've lasted me a lot. I haven't had any trouble with them. So that's the way I would do it if you want a hard wire. And then you will have to, if you decide to focus on just hard wire, And that's the only way to do it. Say, I'm just going to hook up to your router. You don't have any more money to pay there. Okay, and then you're going to have to decide what consoles you're going to use, what you're going to hook up for the internet. I mean, there are options. You got to decide what games you want to use. Now, I do the PlayStation Plus membership so I can do the VR stuff, because those games, a lot of them are going to need a PlayStation Plus membership to play multiplayer with. And I really wanted multiplayer VR as part of this experience. Now, if you're just focusing on Fortnite or something like that, a lot of these games you won't even need any kind of membership for. They're just free. So then you could just put them on whatever. I think Fortnite, Rocket League, Fall Guys is like that. I think Multiversus is going to be like that. So, yeah. So it just depends on what you decide to do for games and what you want to pay. You got to look into those options. I have 5 PlayStation accounts. So, and 4 of those are actively used a lot. So because they just double up as mine and my kids' accounts. So that's the way I do that. You decide, and I guess if you did Nintendo Switch, I just don't like it because it's not as good as graphics if you're doing a Fortnite and stuff. But they have a family membership that you can get 5 accounts. So then that would work good too if you want to do some online games through the Switch. I've thought about that before because I really like Splatoon and be able to add that online. I never got into it because there's not a much. Fortnite is so big, and I wanted Fortnite to look better, and I think it looks like crap on the Switch. So I stick with the PlayStation Plus stuff. Yeah, and mainly then I can use those memberships for the VR aspect as well. Okay, so that's what you're going to need for equipment. You're going to have to decide how you're going to connect to the internet, and then what consoles you want to use. Okay, so then you got to know your trailer and how you're going to do your organization, so you know how you're going to do these parties. So everyone's trailer is different. I mean, some people don't even have the split TVs, I guess. I didn't know this. So you're definitely, if you're going to want to do, just for space-wise, if you're going to want to do any of these internet parties, I would have the little TVs so that you could do, you could see what they're doing on VR and then do console games on the other side. I think it's something that you really need to have. So the way I set it up, if it's a small party, I do what's a guided birthday party. Unless it's someone that I have a repeat client, I'll let them skip ahead of stuff. But I really want to try to get kids to play stuff, at least for a little bit, that they haven't experienced before. Otherwise, some of them might just play the Fortnite the whole time, which is okay. But, I like them to get something more out of it. And the parents feel that they, got a lot out of the experience. So, on the first 4 stations, we're going to have a VR game. I'll talk about all the games you can use later, but you have a VR game on those. We're talking about organization right now, so we're just focused on that. You have 4 people on a VR game. They're playing together. Okay. On the on across from them, you have 4 people, because most games are going to be, it's squad up. You can have up to 4 people, right? You have them in a squad together playing a game. Fortnite's obviously going to be most popular. So, for a birthday party for organization, I usually have Fortnite on and Minecraft VR on to start. And then at the end, I have a VR aircraft, a VR car, a VR, and then the standing VR, and they can rotate as needed. I will try to keep the VR. It's kind of guided with the birthday party boy. I have a station trying to get them as engaged in VR as I can. They get tired of the Minecraft game, I'll put them on Battlezone. It's a tank game. And then I have 2 PSVR 2 stations, so I've been experimenting with some PSVR 2 games that we'll discuss all the games later. But you kind of guide them, and you get them to try things, and then eventually, they might all want to play Fortnite, so then you play Fortnite. Now, some good things with Fortnite. You can do split screen if you need the space. If we're talking about a bigger person party, you might need the space there, and you can do split screen. You can do that with Rocket League too. Might be able to do that with Multiverse when it comes out. You can also put it right on the headset. So you could have people play on the TV, and you could have people playing the games on the headset too if they wanted to. So that's another way to look at about it. But I will kind of guide people, try to keep them playing it as much as possible with these games. Like I said, we start with Minecraft, we do Battlezone, and then I will switch them into the PSVR 2, which I've been experimenting with. There's just a few games there. And I might put in some single player, and I'll start to change the stations as we go. And then the more single player VR, and let them choose stuff and whatever. But to get them started, I quickly get them 4 people on a VR game together, 4 people on a console game, and the other ones are playing whatever I have. Now, if you have a bigger group of not 10 people, you're going to have some offline stuff on the bench. So you might have one TV with Fortnite split screen, and the other ones you're going to put offline console games to be able to get 4 people on those TVs at least, or maybe 8 at the end if you do Smash. I have a Smash station at the end that I put 8 people on, so to get a lot of people. So just however you want to organize that, but think of how you're going to do it so you equal 24. But you have those 2 sides to work with. So you have 4 people on VR. You might put another console game up that's online on the TV, and then some offline stuff. You'll have to use offline stuff to get to 24, most likely, if you at least have my type of trailer. If you have TVs on the outside, maybe you'll be able to do some sort of arrangement to get the needed players, but that's the way I have to do it. So, so we've talked about the equipment, we talked about the organization. So now we just talk about the games. Now, the great games. When I originally did this, I wanted to always have 10 games. 5 for VR, 5 for console. I'm starting to get away from that, at least for the console, because most of the time for console, they either want to play Fortnite or Call of Duty. So I'm not as focused on the console as much, because the games I offer just never get played. Right now, some other good games that I have are Rocket League, Call of Duty. Call of Duty will get played. Rocket League sometimes gets played. Fall Guys is another one that I have sometimes played. I have Overwatch and Foam Stars. Those 2 they never really wants to play. I love Overwatch, so my kids, we play it a lot, but people don't want to. I at least never had anybody at a party that's really wanted it. They wanted Fortnite, they wanted Call of Duty, occasionally they wanted Rocket League or Fall Guys. That's just been my experience. But you choose what you want. My vision for the future is I'm just going to carry the ones that are split screen, which I'm hoping. So I'll carry, then they'll be the only ones I have to update. Because you got to remember, every game you have, you got to update too, which can be a pain. So I'm going to have Fortnite, Rocket League, and I think Multiverse is going to let you do 2 people eventually when it comes out again. And I think that would be a great one. So you could have 2 people to that, so you're not. So if you need the space, you're just not giving up a TV for one person. Okay, some other ideas for large groups is if you need the space, you can give them the switch screens and have them play those just individually on the bench while they wait for a turn to go on something else. You just got to decide what you want to do. All my stations have a PSVR, have a PlayStation 4, a PS5, and a Switch at station 1 through 5. And the Xbox One, I have one, and I have it split so I can put it on either my first or my second or my third TV. And that's basically the way I run things. At the end, you have the PlayStations for the PSVR car and the PS4 aircraft. That's what I carry for consoles. Eventually, I'm going to get, I already have the PlayStation 5s, but I'm going to get PSVR 2s, and we'll have those for the games. Because right now, I still use the PSVR 1 games, and I might get into the PSVR 2 games a little bit It's experimental stage right now. I eventually want to not use PSVR 1 anymore and just use PSVR 2. So my vision for the future is the games that I will have. Well, right now, let's talk about, if you use a PSVR 1, Minecraft is a great game, Battlezone's a great game. You can use touring carts if you want to. Galaxy Card on the PSVR 2 is going to be much better though. And Star Wars Squadrons, I think the servers still work, but I haven't used it for a long time, so I'm not sure about that. Most people in my parties, we will play Minecraft, we will play Battlezone, and then we might get to my experimental games. Some of them, like playing Among Us, and there's some other ones that are good, but they're that's all that we'll get into, and then they'll play Fortnite. So you just got to decide how you want to guide it, what you want to do. Okay? So, but my vision for the future, I want, like I said, to have the console games, Rocket League, Fortnite, Call of Duty, and Multiversus. So they'll be my 4 console games. Then I like to have 4 or 5 PSVR 2 games. And the games that I know I'm going to have is for the PSVR 2 will be Among Us. Alvo is great. It's like a kind of a Call of Duty VR game for older kids. Okay, and then there's this new Mech Party game, which is okay. And there's Galaxy Card. Okay, so that's like 3 games you can use for PSVR 2, and there's a 4th game you can use for older kids. That's what we have right now that I think is good. I have tried it with Ghostbusters. I just found that they couldn't like figure it out fast enough, like how to play, to be able to be good in that environment. It seems to be a little more complicated, and kids don't understand how to do everything in Ghostbusters. But maybe I'll come back to that later. I don't know. But I'm just looking for a few more good games that I will break away from PSVR 2, PSVR 1. The only reason I haven't yet is because people really like Minecraft VR and they like the tank game. So, and there's no since they like those so much, I haven't like broken off. But if I could get like one more good, really good game that I think that kids will like on PSVR 2, then I think I'd go with just do a PSVR 2, because I would have Among Us, I would have Galaxy Cart, I'd have Alvo for the older kids, maybe that mech game, which is like okay, and then if I had one just that stood out, I would be happy. It's where I want to get to, and then I would drop Minecraft and the Battlezone unless somebody specifically asks for it. So then I would just have PSVR 2 on one side and the console games on the other, and it'd be simple. And I'd probably have about 8 games. You know, well, yeah, 7 or 8 games instead of 10 games. So that's my vision for the future. So you gotta, this is a great idea if you want to add internet. You just gotta decide how complex you want it to be. Obviously, what you're gonna charge. I charge $50 for the upgrade. And then how it will work with your model. Now, I did mention we have the bigger trailer. I think I looked into the smaller trailer, and I will use this for my smaller birthday parties. I want to get a smaller trailer someday, and then I will charge based. Right now, I charge based on party size, but later on, I like the smaller trailer, and I change it based on what trailer they used. And then I would just cut in half what they use for squad up. So my squad up tends to be a 4-player experience right now, and if I got the smaller trailer, it would be a 2-player experience. Is the way I would do it. So that's the way I would do squad up for the smaller trailer. Is that kind of upgrade for 2 people on consoles together and 2 people on VR together. That's the way I do it for the smaller trailer, and then you fill out whatever you have to with your numbers. But that's how I would do it for the smaller trailer. If I ever get the smaller trailer, I'm going to use that for birthday parties for up to 10 people. And then my bigger trailer will be for 11 to 24. So it's all up to you guys how you want to do it. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. I constantly have like people asking me about the internet and what you do. I think I have one of the most complicated things for the internet. but the way I've developed it works really good. It has lots of options. It's a work in progress. I have to wait for games to, come out, but I'm happy in the direction it's going and what we have so far. If you have any more questions, just please let me know. Thank you again for watching this video. You guys have a great day.